Dumela Batswana, se ke sebaga sa Botswana, sebaga sa Batswana. Welcome to the most exclusive, informative, and of course fun show on the land. This is Issues on Red. Today, I'm not alone like usual. I'm with a very pretty, beautiful guest. She's sitting right here next to me. And we are going to be debunking myths and misconceptions that the society has on GBV. I'm very excited. I don't know about you. Hi.
Hello.
How are you, girl?
I'm good.
All right, first things first, please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Motlatsi Ntobakane, and I'm a student at College doing degree in health promotion and education.
All right, Motlatsi, yes. It's very lovely to have you here. We are going to get right into it.
Okay.
Myths and misconceptions when it comes to GBV. We just collected a few on the internet so that we correct them, and of course we teach the society better. The first one is very interesting. It says GBV, that is gender-based violence, only affects women and girls. What do you have to say about that?
That is not true. It also affects men. It's just that they don't come out with their abuse. Yeah, just they like to be closed up. They don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They are told that men should be strong. Men do not cry. So that is why they don't talk about it, because they believe they are strong, even though they are damaging them emotionally.
And I think it's worth noting that it's very funny that people can say it only affects women and girls because it says gender. And obviously we don't only have one gender, it's males and females. So I think gender-based violence, it can happen to anyone. And like you said, they're not out there when it comes to being abused or being hurt or violated. They don't speak up. Then we tend to think basadi hela there are victims when it comes to this. But gentlemen, please do speak up and also be on the fight against GBV. Number 2, it says gender-based violence only happens in certain cultures or socio-economic groups. What can we say about that?
It don't only happen to certain people or certain culture or groups. It happens to everybody. It can be a poor or rich. Yes, people believe that when you are rich, you cannot be abused. That is not true. Yes, and in the poor communities, that is where we see a lot of GBV, because when there's no income, men want to show their power using abuse to their women, because they are told that men are the head of the family. So when they do not have anything to bring to the table, they show power by abusing women. So it happens to everybody.
I think the best way to put it is gender-based violence. It can happen to anyone of any age, of any culture. It doesn't have a thing where it says, you know. So I think it's very important to be open-minded when we are approaching these issues, to know that a victim can be anyone, even an abuser can be anyone at all. And I think by understanding that, you can agree with me that it'll bring us closer to bringing solutions and helping other society. Yes. And the third one, it says victims provoke GBV through their behavior or appearance. This one is very triggering. What do you have to say about it?
No one is supposed or does not deserve to be abused. So no action, no anything does mean that a person should be abused. Yes.
So I totally agree with you that there is no certain provocative behavior or appearance. Appearance what do you mean that could ever be a reason to say I had to do this to someone because they did this? So I think we should really look into that to say violate mentally, emotionally, or in any way. So no matter how you dress or what you do, nobody deserves to go through GBV. And there's never a reason that is good enough for anything like that to happen to anyone. And the other one says GBV is only physical abuse.
No,
entirely.
No. GBV, it can also affect people emotionally, yes, and people can also develop psychological problems due to the abuse that they are given. Abuse is not only being beaten physically, even words, verbal words can affect people.
And I think also because a lot of the abuse that people confront with, or the one that we can see, is physical. So people tend to think another person is not being abused, which is far from the truth.
Yes.
It can be emotional, like you said. And just because you don't see physically that this person is being beaten up or abused doesn't mean it's not happening, right? The other one is says, if the victim didn't leave, it wasn't that bad. This is ridiculous, wouldn't you say? What do you have to say about
that? They like second chances. When they see abuse at the first time, they'll think that but that is not true.
It's totally not true. And I think there's always a lot of factors involved. And there's a victim, I don't know what to call it, usually they come to a place where they're not able to think straight, and it makes it very difficult for them to get out of the situation. So those are things that we should also look at. Being abused emotionally and that thing doesn't mean they don't need help. We actually need to help them, advise them, and make sure they get the relevant help that they need. And the other one is GBV is a private matter and should not be interfered with. What do you have to say about that one?
It is not a private matter. When a person is abused, a lot of people should be involved, like the family, the police, and everybody's involved in the matter.
And it is very popular that in African homes, especially when in Botswana, we have issues where we'd be trying to keep it in the family because we find it to be very embarrassing and humiliating. No, you know. But no, the rightful people should be called and to help a couple that is suffering, or people that are suffering rather, so that they interfere and they offer help so that those people can get away from that situation, right?
Yes.
We are still to learn quite a lot, but first, let us take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you just tuned in with us, this is Issues on Red, and today we are talking about myths and misconceptions. Let's just take a moment to look at this very interesting video.
Men should never hit a woman.
Why not?
That's just f***ed up.
Why?
Why should a man hit a woman?
To protect himself.
Oh man, this is a lot.
What do you mean?
I just disagree with your viewpoints.
Why?
That you think a man should hit a woman?
Should a woman hit him? Yes, I do.
I don't think violence is the answer to anything.
No, in protection, he's self-defense. Let's say a woman, he shouldn't just go around hitting her just for no reason.
Yeah.
But let's say that, should women hit men?
No.
Right. So if a woman should hit a man, shouldn't he smack her back?
No.
Why not?
Because she's a girl.
Well, she doesn't know that?
But I just think that's unfair.
So if a woman smack a man, what should he do?
He probably deserved it, to be honest.
What?
Yeah, you want to play this game? Let's go.
And doesn't she deserve to be smacked back if she should hit him?
She's a girl. Guys should not hit girls.
But girls should hit guys?
I never said that, no.
But if they do, the guy should smack her back?
No.
Why not?
Because guys shouldn't hit girls.
Why?
Because it's just, that's just unfair.
Well, how?
Because girls are tender and beautiful creatures that should not be hit.
But don't they know that before they hit the man, that they can't handle it?
I don't know.
So, Motlatsi, what do you think of this video? What do we have to say about it?
From this video, women also don't have to hit the men, and men also don't have the right to hit women, because it is also abuse if a woman hits the men. So we don't consider GBV only when the man hits the women.
All right, I think there's also an issue in this video of self-defense, where when we find a man hitting a woman, if a woman hits back, it's okay. Even like police officials or any other authority that say it's fine, it was self-defense. But then if it's a guy, say a woman is straight on attacking a man, what do we say about that? Because I don't know, it's kind of different. There's a bloodline where Yanong say it's a very, powerful woman who's very masculine hitting a man. Should a man still not hit back? What do we say about that? As self-defense, of course.
As self-defense, beating back is not an issue. It's not an issue.
I think there's a bloodline here, and because this lady that we are seeing in this video is saying a woman can hit back as self-defense, but a man cannot, because women are fragile creatures. We are more feminine and soft, therefore we cannot be hit back no matter the circumstances. But for a man, we are allowed to slap them back. I don't know, but I for one would say GBV all around is wrong. And when it comes to the self-defense issue, it's complicated. I don't even know how to conclude that, but I think at the very most we should always make sure that we don't put ourselves in situations where then let's just altogether avoid GBV for both men and for women. Basadi let's just be peaceful, let's be loving and all that. Let's head straight to the street interviews. Now, the word on the street is that GBV is overrated and that GBV facilities are just not youth-friendly. And we are not addressing GBV when it comes to the youth. But as we know, Botswana is a nation where mostly over 60% is the youth. That is 18, I think, to 30 or 35. Youth, I think, is 30. What do you have to say about that?
I would say they are overrated. Youth don't put themselves out to help or to the programs that teach them. Like meetings, meeting ka GBV, banana gabatli, bagolo ke bone ba batlang. So how will they be informed if ga ba irelwa mananeo gabatli?
That is quite a take, and I don't even understand how we can say GBV is overrated when Botswana has cases. I mean, global statistics show that the cases are now over 67%. That is over half. The ratings are compared to Mahatamanga. How then is it overrated? I don't understand. So I do agree with you that GBV is not overrated. It is an issue that is there. It is a problem. If anything, dare I say, it is a pandemic that needs to be dealt with. And when it comes to young people, well, kana banana ka bontsi ba ba mo di relationshiping gonna le dikgantsone tsa GBV. And I think you also know maybe a couple of relationships but they just don't speak out. Why then do we find facilities we are not addressing this problem among the youth? Okay, and wrapping up, do you have any last words regarding what we just talked about?
Okay, my last word will be whether kana when you experience GBV, just a report.
That is that on that. Motlatsi says report issues of GBV. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Issues on Red with myself, Sabah Manyapeza. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.
And can you please tell us your name and how you're doing this morning?
Hello, my name is Janet. I am coming from, I stay here in Gaborone. Today is a bit chilly, but it's not as cold as it was like yesterday.
True.
Yes.
All right, the first question I have for you, Janet, is do you think that gender-based violence is overrated or a real problem in our society?
Oh, you know, gender-based violence is very, very real. To tell you the truth, in the community, we tend to shy away from gender-based violence. We tend not to talk about it. We tend to think that it's overrated when it's actually not.
Do you think gender-based violence is overrated or real?
It's a real thing.
And would you elaborate, how is it a real thing in our society today?
Or like all the time, there are cases being reported that like every day, every single day, there's a case reported on gender-based violence, and we've actually seen it with our eyes happening. So I can't even say it's underrated.
Hape eating le mo malapeng, school, anywhere tota hape
It's
e teng.
everywhere.
Do you think gender-based violence is real or overrated?
It's certainly real. It might not happen to me right now, but I know a lot of people that are going through the same that we hear from others. It involves not only the adults, also youth. I like, because we are youth, someone like you is going through a lot.
You know, gender-based violence is very real. It is real in such a way that people, they tend to shy away from talking about it. We see families being abused. You find that children are abused in the homes, especially in homes whereby the woman is more dependent on the man. And the man will be thinking that, okay, fine, because I'm bringing everything, I'm doing everything, you have to bow to me. You know, the families will be very vulnerable. Sometimes the men will be coming home drunk, beating the children, beating the wife, expecting the wife to do everything. You know, in the community, me as a mother, I always encourage a woman to look for something to do, you know, to look for
Not only be dependent.
to not only be dependent. I'm not saying gender-based violence should be the case, or it should be
The reason
why the woman should be violated by a man. But as a woman, I always talk to women to say, you know what, look for something to do, you know, and you know, for you to not be vulnerable, go out there, just do something, you know, for yourself, so that you're not vulnerable.
Do you think that gender-based violence is overrated, or is it real?
I feel like it's very real, because actually some people who quite suffer from it, and I feel like it's a problem that a lot of people suffer from, especially from women and children too.
You find that children, a girl child, will be violated by the mother or by the father. They'll be telling you, hey, you stupid, you dunderhead. You know, in Setswana we call them dunderhead. That is violence. You know, when a child is coming, she's wearing something as youth. You are looking skinny, you are looking like this. That's violence. That is why I'm saying it's not overrated. Huh? Gender-based violence is not about sexual harassment.
It doesn't only involve physical acts.
No, it doesn't. It involves words. It involves actions. It involves demeaning, whereby a husband will be telling the wife, when you are useless, you just stay home, you do nothing. That's violence on its own, you know. So it's not overrated, it's real.
My name is Vivi A. Welcome to Issues Unread, where we sit down and hear the stories of what other people are experiencing. Let's get into a read for the day. Have you ever felt that no one understood the challenges that you face? My name is Lerato, and this is my story. I was in my final year of high school when I started dating Tato. He was popular, charismatic, and seemed to genuinely care about me. At first, our relationship felt perfect. We spent a lot of time together, and everyone at school thought we were the ideal couple. However, things started to change. Tato became increasingly possessive and controlling. He would get angry if I talked to other boys, even if it was just about schoolwork. He constantly wanted to know where I was and who I was with. If I didn't respond to his messages immediately, he would accuse me of not caring about him. These are one of the problems that I faced by high school goers, just teenagers in general. And one thing that we forget about these young girls is that all they know is that 16 years of living. They know nothing about other issues in society that could affect their mental well-being. So if they just started dating and a relationship is going south, that is the one thing that might tank their results or even concentration in school. So I love that Lerato is speaking out about it. One day, after a school event, Tato and I had a heated argument. He accused me of flirting with a classmate and became physically aggressive. He grabbed my arm tightly, leaving bruises, and threatened to hurt me if I ever spoke to that boy again. I was terrified. I didn't know who to turn to. I thought no one would believe that such a respected and popular student could ever be capable of such violence. I felt isolated and ashamed and didn't fully understand what was happening to me. Another thing again, they are going through puberty. So a lot is happening in their mind. It's working overtime, they school, they're discovering themselves. So we really need to pay attention. But I couldn't keep it inside any longer. I confided in my best friend Amanda, who supported me and encouraged me to seek help. Together, we went to a trusted teacher who listened without judgment and took immediate action to ensure my safety. Listened without judgment. I like that. With the support of my friends, family, and school, I was able to break free from Tato's control. I realized that gender-based violence can happen to anyone, regardless of age. It's important to speak out, seek help, and no matter how young you are. And I love that she said that because genuinely, it's not always the case of you are in a relationship with someone in order to experience gender-based violence, or you're at a certain age. It can happen to literally anyone. But as much as she was able to break free, a lot of counseling is also needed for the young boy child in order to bring back a safe community for women from both ends. Do that, and you'll make Botswana a great place again. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next episode.